Alright, now we're going to start working on building up the frosting row. So what we're going to do is we're going to take one thread, we're going to add one frosting color, and we're going to go across the way to the next frosting color. The thread's coming out of this bead right here. We need to move around here. So let's do that. We'll put it right here. Pull it through. We've got the bead in between. And we're going to do the same thing again, moving around. We're going to put one more bead on. We're moving from here, and we're going to pull across to the next bead here. So, add one more frosting. Oop. There we go. And thread it through the next bead over. Monofilament likes to kink. Now, if you're really obsessive and you don't have to have things that are really, really precise and neat, go ahead and take the blue thread and do the same thing instead of the red thread, to make it nice and even. So we'll take one more frosting color, and we'll move through here, pull it tight. Now for your last one, you're going to do something a little different. You're going to take one of your threads. I'm taking the blue. You're going to put one more frosting color bead on there, and then you're going to cross it with the red. Okay, and what you end up with is your cupcake base with a ring of 8 frosting colored beads all the way around. Like that. We're going to use this ring to kind of make the dome shape over it and to finish it off. Okay, things are going to get a little bit funky from here. What you're going to want to do is hold the piece so that you have your blue thread on your left hand and the red thread on your right, like so. And you will add 2 frosting colors to the blue thread. And we're going to hold the last bead that we added and cross it with the red thread. Pull down. Okay. Now what you're going to do is you're going to skip over the bead that's right next to the thread that you're working on and restring the bead next to that. So we're going to go over this one, through this one. So take your blue thread and restring through, skip over, restring that thread there. Okay. Now you're going to take your red thread, add one more frosting color, and you're going to cross with the blue thread. Now, taking the red thread, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to skip over the first bead that's on that ring of 8. You're going to skip over this one and go restring through the next one over. So take your red thread, skip over this one, and restring through the next one. See how it kind of starts to pull in? Okay. Now you're going to take your blue thread and put on one more frosting color. cross it with the red. And pull tight. Now that we have basically all the beads that we're going to be using, pretty much all we have to do left over is to wrap it up. But before we do that, we're going to kind of open up the center a little bit. And we're going to add in our last 4mm wrapping color bead as a filler to kind of use it as an anchor for our head pin when we stuff it through there. It also helps if you line it upright so that the hole is pointing upwards inside, but you can always dig through that later. Alright, so now we're going to close the gap. What we're going to need to do... Okay. So we're going to skip over the bead right on top of the thread, and we're going to restring the next one over. Like that. Pull down. Don't let your thread get caught in your tools, because that's fun. Okay. Now, we're going to skip over the next adjacent bead, and we're going to go up into the topmost section of the frosting. The threads will be coming out of 2 beads from the topmost layer of the frosting. I don't know if you can see that. Autofocus fails me. Okay. Now we're pretty much finished with this bit, so all we're going to do is we're going to tie a square knot. To kind of purse it together. Like that. And there's your basic cupcake shape. So in order to secure it off, what you're going to want to do is rewrap the beads through each of a couple of the centers of the beads that you have around here, just until you feel comfortable with security. I'm particularly lazy, so I usually just do one and then cut it. You can even go to the effort of hiding the knot if you want to inside the center of a bead. But, like I said, I'm lazy. So, also I've had really bad experiences with doing that. If I pull too tightly, the thread will snap right at the knot, so rendering it useless. Yeah. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start off by adding the candle and the flames. Okay, so now that we've got our things mostly built, what we're going to do now is add the candle. So we're going to take a head pin, or in my case a length of wire. You can kind of form your own head pin just by bending the tip of your wire and folding it into a hook. Just kind of bending it forward so it's flush with the other side, and it'll hold the item in place there. Can you see that? Okay. You're going to take your wire and you're going to stick it through the bottom of the cupcake, through that filler bead that we stuffed inside there. It's going to take a few tries in order to be able to get the hole to match right, but it'll rotate inside the cupcake pretty easily. Let's see. Like I said, it may take a while, and it's pretty good for decent commentary and some other maybe jokes or something. There we go. Okay. So it's all the way at the bottom. Like that. Now here's where you would string on your last frosting color bead, or in my case I'm going to put on the red colored bead for a cherry. Yeah, it's cute. And push that down, then you're going to put on your 3 frosting colored beads. And finally your flame colored bead. And in order to hold this in place, we're going to finish it off with a wrapped loop. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your round nose pliers, you're going to hold it right at the tip of the flame. You're going to bend it away from you, then flip the wire over the tooth of the pliers. You're going to pull out your teeth, and you're going to string the loop again through the bottom tooth. You're going to wrap it around to finish the loop. Like that. You can take your chain nose pliers then and hold it in place. This is really awkward. Trying to look at the camera and look at this at the same time. Anyway, wrap around the excess wire once or twice to secure it in place. Then cut it with a pair of cutters. And that's it. We kind of neaten the end up a little bit. I'll do a more detailed tutorial on wire wrapping and making links and stuff later on. But there's your cupcake. You can use a jump ring to attach it to a cell phone charm or a set of earrings or something like that. But the possibilities are limitless. Again, experiment with sizes and colors, and you can even add sprinkles with seed beads all the way around the frosting. My next tutorial that I'm going to do is probably going to be a sort of a 101 with tips on tools and accessories and some reviews and such. I know that jewelry is such a huge topic. You can go off on so many places with this, and it's kind of daunting for a beginner. So I'll probably kind of talk to some of my recommended tools and my quick and easy starters, and also how to go buy it cheaply, because jewelry can get very expensive depending on what materials you use. Well, I hope you liked this tutorial. Feel free to visit me on Facebook and post pictures of what you make. I'd love to see what you do. Like and subscribe if you want to see more of this sort of thing, and also give me suggestions of what you'd like to see from me. In the meantime, while I'm making the next tutorial, feel free to check out my writing blog. If you like sci-fi and cyberpunk, please check it out. Again, I'd love feedback. It is a bit gritty, so I will warn you guys that it's rather dark. If you're not into that sort of thing, it's okay. And thank you guys for watching, and join me again in my domain once more.